the Miami Hurricanes, the Indiana Hoosiers, college football national championship game. It's going to be exciting, ladies and gentlemen. The old versus the new. Who's going to win it? And TEOFIMO LOPEZ and SHAKUR Stevenson is about to get it on. The babyface assassin. Oh yeah, what an exciting time in sports. Sit back, relax. Let's jump right into this thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alan with D9J Sports, and yeah, you know we've got some good sports coming up. The Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers will be getting it on Monday the 19th at 6:30 p.m. from Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami. The Miami Hurricanes are listed as a visiting team, but no, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest and let's be frank. They're a home team. It's their stadium. The first time in the history of college football that a team has made it to the championship and they were playing in their home stadium. Old versus new. Players like Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and so many more. Warren Sapp, just so many more players from the U that are excited that the U's back. The old, you remember the days of old when the Miami Hurricanes sit atop of college football seemingly year after year. That's the old. And now the new, the Indiana Hoosiers and Coach Kirk Cignetti. What an incredible job that this man has done resurrecting the program. Last season, everybody thought it was a fluke, and they turned right back around this year. And not only do they get to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, they've made their way. They've kicked the door in, and they've made it to the championship. What a Cinderella story. Will the Cinderella story, the new age of college football, what does it hold? What does it hold with the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback under the helm? Probably going to be the first or second pick in the National Football League draft, Fernando Mendoza. Can he continue his incredible play along with those receivers? We're going to talk about, well, let's break this thing down and see. Well, go ahead and give Indiana the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think so. I think that the Miami Hurricanes have something that the Indiana Hoosiers are not going to be ready for, and that's a defensive front four. They're able to put pressure on the quarterback without having the blitz. And they've had some incredible secondary players. It's going to be an incredible matchup. Now, the new, what I mean by the new, the Indiana Hoosiers have never been in a championship game, especially like right now. College football has changed, ladies and gentlemen. We know that the rosters turn over, but to see the Indiana Hoosiers get to the championship, oh, it's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ultimate Cinderella story. If they can pull it off, it will be one of the best sports stories. Well, it will probably be one of the top college football stories of all time. The Miami Hurricanes playing their own stadium, as I stated earlier, it's unheard of. The Miami Hurricanes started the season off. They looked like they were the best team starting the season off. But then in the middle of the season, they had a loss, and then it continued on. And then, once you lose, it snowballs. But they were able to resurrect it, get into the playoffs, where a lot of people didn't think that the Miami Hurricanes should even be in the playoffs. But, oh, they proved them wrong, ladies. They proved everybody wrong who are doubters. They not only got in, they took out the Texas A&M Aggies, who only lost one game, who were a highly ranked team. So they continued to win, and nobody, and I do mean nobody, really thought that they would go out and get the job done in their last game against the Ohio State Buckeyes. But they did. Carson Beck was able to produce, and in this game, the last game, Carson Beck was able to run the football in what an incredible showdown against the Ole Miss running Rebels. He was able to run it into the end zone. No point during that game that I know who was going to win between those two teams. And all shot goes out to Ole Miss because they played a hell of a game. They had a hell of a season with Trinidad Champions. But back to the Indiana Hoosiers. But before we get to the Indiana Hoosiers, I'm going to need you to hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button and the donate button so we can keep the channel rolling. I appreciate all my subscribers out there who are already sticking with me, but continue to stick with me throughout everything. And once again, this video is brought to you by none other than me, here Alan at D9J Sports. Now, the Indiana Hoosiers and Coach Kirk Cignetti. I love him because he's a hardcore guy. He's a no-nonsense guy, and he expects the best out of his football team. Now, we know all the coaches preach that, but you can see it in the way the Indiana Hoosiers play. Now, the Indiana Hoosiers don't have an incredibly big offensive or defensive line, but they play proper technique and they don't beat themselves. That's the one thing about the Indiana Hoosiers and Coach Kirk Connecticut that he continues to preach. They will not beat themselves. So what does the Miami Hurricanes have? What do the Miami Hurricanes have to do to beat the Indiana Hoosiers? Well, just like I stated, they can't beat themselves. Carson Beck has to stay under control and stay paused. This isn't going to be one of those games where you're going to get out there and you're going to be turning the football over and you're going to expect to win the football game. You're going to have to stay balanced, Miami Hurricanes. You're going to have to run the football, pass the football, and you're going to have to hold on to it without turnovers. The Indiana Hoosiers, you're going to have to play within yourself. Can't get too big for you when you get on this stage of the national championship. Fernando Mendoza, you have to continue to be that leader. Lead your football team. I look forward to being an incredible game. I'm picking the Miami Hurricanes to shock the world. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that are going against him. And we know that Michael Irvin, he's not going to be suiting up. But one thing about it, you can best believe he's going to be in the ears of the young men, trying to encourage them that the U is definitely back. Who thought that the U would get back? But they are back. And the Indiana Hoosiers, I want you to think about that for a second. The Indiana Hoosiers are playing for the national championship in football. Oh, how things have changed. The old versus the new. Let's keep this thing rolling. Boxing. Oh, yeah, we've got an incredible showdown coming up. We've got Shakur Babyface Stevenson. That's what I call him. Shakur Babyface Stevenson versus TEOFIMO Lopez. Oh, yeah. Now, you know TEOFIMO Lopez does a lot of talking, or he was doing a lot of talking with all his antics and stuff. But for some strange reason, TEOFIMO Lopez is acting out of character right now. It's noticeable. He's not making all those comments. You know, TEOFIMO was making a lot of comments, a lot of racial comments leading up to this fight. And he just does a lot of bizarre things. But one thing you cannot get fooled with is TEOFIMO Lopez is one hell of a boxer. He's one hell of a boxer. He's one hell of an athletic guy. So will TEOFIMO Lopez be able to get the job done? Will he take Shakur Babyface Stevenson somewhere that he hasn't been? And what I mean by that, Shakur Stevenson, in his last fight, he had to step it up. But in this fight right here, TEOFIMO Lopez is damn sure a worthy opponent. He's damn sure a worthy opponent. Will Shakur Babyface Stevenson be able to sustain his attack? Will he be able? He won't be able to win those fights where they say he has a boring fight. In his last fight, it wasn't boring. It was not boring at all. TEOFIMO Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, I will give both of them kudos because this is a fight where both of the fighters are fighting in their prime. It isn't one of the things like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao or nothing like that where some people complain about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd not fighting in their heyday. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fight where two young men, and I do mean young men of the sport, are fighting at the pinnacle of their careers. It's going to be an incredible fight. Early on, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pick Shakur Stevenson. Really, probably early on, later on, I'm going to probably pick Shakur Stevenson because of his style. Styles make fights. I think it's going to be an incredible fight. I hope for sure that we get what we're looking for. And I want TEOFIMO to go back to being his old self before the fight starts to bring on a little bit more excitement. So we've got an incredible weekend of sports that's going to be coming up. Of course, we got the wild card weekend that's going to be starting here in a little bit. We got some incredible pro football games that are going to be going on. And before long, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be all over with. We've got one more college football game, and then we've got the wild card weekend and the divisional round, and then all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the Super Bowl, and it's going to be then come and gone, and we're going to have football withdrawals. But until then, let's continue to support all of the athletes out there. Hope that they can all get through everything without getting injured. Hope that the Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers give us exactly what we're looking for in college football. And we know wild card weekend. It's on and popping, ladies and gentlemen. It's on and popping. This is Alan with D9J Sports. Stay safe out there. Keep it together. On the way out, I'm going to tell you, ladies, jump in front of the TV too, because we know you love some sports too. You love some football too. Alan with D9J Sports. I'm definitely OUT.